Good morning, good morning. Welcome everyone to Monday. Brand new week, brand new day. The Lord's mercies are new every morning. Really excited about today. My name is Tyler, if you're here for the first time, and I'm going to be helping navigate you through the wild world of day trading futures. And we're going to be sharing my daily trading bias. I'm going to be giving you a front row seat to the trades that I take, along with teaching you and helping you understand order flow, order blocks, PD arrays, all the good stuff that ICT has taught over the many years. And if you are also watching this after the stream, you can jump to the key moments using the chapter markers below, where you'll find all the trades that I've taken along with the explanation of what I was thinking and why. Lastly, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level and you're wanting to save your gunpowder or your personal account for future use and you want to use prop firm funds, you can use Apex. Apex is currently having a 71% off sale. You can use the code DTJ where you can get 71% off using that code. That code DTJ will always give you the most updated discounts Apex is having. And with that, let's go ahead, open in prayer, say good morning to everyone, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So Father, we just honor you this morning. Thank you for the opportunity we have to trade as day traders. Lord, I pray for your wisdom, for your insight and your understanding. Lord, I just come against any distractions that may cause us to deviate from the plan, deviate from our strategy. And Lord, I thank you for your wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks. Good morning. Emilio, good morning. How you doing, my friend? It's good to have you. I'm glad you're here. We're going to get started here and take a look at the higher time frame, look at the market, see what we got going on, and kind of go from there. Good morning, Mr. Trades, Mr. Deadman Trades. All right, so on a higher time frame perspective, we will start there. Let's start at the weekly. So we have this past week's candle did close below the previous week's low. So on a weekly perspective, we could still see an expansion here. With that expansion, we also do have a weekly fair value gap that we could reach up into before the expansion continues. That's a possibility from a weekly perspective. As far as where it may want to go, if we're looking at manipulation, it first manipulates higher and then maybe it reaches lower for these lows over here. That's a weekly perspective. So we need to see if price wants to find support above this this wick's midpoint. So as long as we're staying above this candle's midpoint, I'm looking at consolidatory price action or expansion higher price action. If we start running below this weekly candle's wick midpoint, then we probably may be reaching for that previous week's low towards the bottom there. Dropping down to the daily time frame, we've been consolidating for the past 3 days. Basically, last week we've consolidated. Monday, big expansion lower, and just been back and forth price action. We're looking at Friday's candle right here. I will tell you that Friday's equilibrium is a very big draw on liquidity for me in my style of trading. I want to see this reach for that equilibrium, which is sitting right around 19,521, somewhere around there. So initially, that's where I would like to see price reach to. Maybe from there, expand higher. We've already ran the previous day's high. So there's a 12% chance that we run also the previous day low. Now we do have news today. We did have news at 8:30. So maybe that's a possibility. And as Northern says, contracts do roll over this week, so we'll see us rolling over on contracts most likely. let's drop down to a lower time frame. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we have a daily fair value gap that we have sitting here and the data highs. We still have not ran those data highs. Even after this expansion from the news candle, we didn't reach those highs. So that is an area of interest as well. We did have a sweep of liquidity on the 2 a.m. candle and expansion on the 6 a.m. candle. So we'd be interested. We have also dropped down into a 15-minute fair value gap right before the expansion higher. So looking from our 4-hour reversal perspective, we're seeing price wanting to expand higher. The same goes for the hourly. The hourly is doing the same. We have a potential continuation candle right here. We have 7 a.m., 8 a.m. sweep of liquidity right here. And so 9 a.m. we're looking for a 5-minute fair value gap. And so if we drop down to the 5-minute time frame, the only 5-minute fair value gap that we have is this 5-minute fair value gap from the news candle right here. And that we are currently in that. So if we're looking for this to continue to play out, we would expect or hope to see price find support in this 5-minute fair value gap and then expand higher, ideally towards the data highs. And there's Monday's first fair value gap of last week. What else do we have over here? We would also be reaching into we would also need to potentially look at covering this daily opening range gap. It has not been mitigated yet. That's why that's still there. This 15-minute fair value gap we can get rid of for right now. Actually, we might actually see that hit later. We have midnight open down here. Opening range, the new week opening range gap is very small, very tight. You can see that right here. But we also have relatively equal lows down here that price could reach for and then reach for Friday's equilibrium. So what I'm trying to say is I see price potentially moving. It has a reason for both ways. Yeah, I haven't changed yet, Northern. I haven't switched yet. I probably will not switch today since we got 5 minutes till open, and I'll look at doing that tomorrow. Ricardo, good morning. Stan, JB, good morning. So market opens here in 5 minutes. We also have equal lows right here. We did sweep a high right here. We swept March 12th's 940 candle. We swept that high. But I will say that with where price action is at right now, us hitting the daily fair value gap already, I'm potentially open to seeing it sell off a little bit. We've ran liquidity here, the daily high, previous day's high. We ran liquidity that's sitting right around here from Wednesday, March 12th. And we obviously are not just retracing. It's a little bit bigger than a retracement. We have a potential breaker right here. I do like that. And we have our last 1 minute fair value gap sitting right here from all this price movement higher. Where was the news candle? 8:30. And the data, and then these equal lows is also a data candle. Data candle low. So I like lower prices right now. Narrative is leaning more towards low. What's the best fair time frame for data high? 1 minute. Will we be able to catch 60 candles this week? 60? That seems like a lot. I would say 2 per day. 2 to 3 per day for trades. So 15 max. We are looking at 30 points approximately for the opening range gap right now to the data low. Best time frame for, yeah, I already answered that. Data high, data low. All right, so 9:30 model played out this morning. Let's see if this acts as an inversion right here. There's a tap at the breaker as well. Let's see how this candle closes, or if it wants to push right through it. So we're watching two things, this inversion right here on the 1 minute and this breaker. I'll put this up there if I end up taking a trade on that. I'm going to see if it wants to give me 20 handles right here. We respected the breaker. I want to see if it wants to come back down. This is my model. This is exactly my model, so I have to take it. All right, so it stopped me out. What is that? When I say this is my model, what do I mean by that? We have the breaker. We have a target lower. We've hit a higher time key level of liquidity. We do have this data high sitting right here, but that's not as relevant for me. But it pushed past that. So we do have our first fair value gap now. First, there it is. We're going to get rid of that. Good morning, David, Tony. How we doing? Good to have you. Good to have you. So right now we're just going to wait till we get some more structure. We found the breaker that we had. The most obvious setup failed. Going back to this 1 minute. Our most obvious setup, high, low, higher, high, broke below it, came back up to it. Inside this the fair value gap right here, it respected it. We took an entry here and it just went right through it. So we're getting PD rays being disrespected, so I need to wait for more information. I need to wait for more data. Until then, I mean, how do I know what's going to be reliable or not? So we need to watch order flow and see how order flow is being respected. Data high is probably going to be the target here. So we'll watch it and see how that runs it. Are you short biased today? Good question. Higher time frame. I would like to see price move on a weekly perspective. I would say yes, weekly perspective, but that means we could see price go up right now. So when I drop down and look at today's price action. Today's price action looks to be bullish. There's the data. Data high. But like I mentioned this earlier, I wanted to see how it respected this because we have reason to go lower. And my favorite target on Mondays is Friday's equilibrium, which is this green line down here. It's by far my favorite target that I like to run for. I like to see price reach for. It hits this level on Mondays quite frequently. So when I saw this breaker, we hit the daily high. We respected the fair value gap and the breaker. That lines up with everything that I want. So when it fails, it's time to sit on our hands and wait and wait for more information because it failed. This is also Wednesday's high. So this is a high. It's currently a high. So that data high is what I'm referring to. I don't need anything with this. That's just messy. Oops. The hourly is closed above that hourly candle. This is a breaker right here. Hourly candle. Hourly breaker. We'll see how it wants to react to it. Last week's new week opening gap, I mean that's a tall order. I mean, before we do that, we have this week's opening range gap. We have the hourly, we have a breaker there. We have Monday's first fair value gap from last week, which I don't even know. I mean, I'll just have that there. I don't really do a lot with that. We have London high. There's a lot of different areas that it could focus on. But no matter what, I can't just take a long here. I mean, where am I going to take a long at? Where do you go? I mean, I need a retracement. I need structure. I literally see a line. The 4-hour reversal model's playing out. I will tell you that. Since we are sitting here waiting, let me show you what that looks like. So here's our reversal. We swept this candle's the 10 p.m. low. The 2 a.m. candle, we swept it. We want to see a 15-minute change in state of delivery between 2 and 6. And then we want to see a 15-minute retracement between 6 and 10 on the 15-minute chart. So on a 15-minute time frame, we see our change in state of delivery right here. So check. And then we're looking for a 15-minute entry between 6 and 10. And that would be right here at 8 a.m. creating these lows, and then we have the expansion higher. So your 15-minute entry on the 4-hour reversal would have been right there. I'm not saying it would have been pretty. I'm just saying it's there. There's the 15-minute entry. Downside to this is your risk that you would have had. It's not bad, actually. 15 handles. That's all you would have to hold in drawdown. That's not bad. 15 handles of drawdown. And look where it's gone. Let's just say you got in here. It's 158 handles if you could have held for since if you could have held since 8 o'clock. So an hour and a half of holding, 150 handles. You know what? Thank you, JB. I have not done my ES numbers yet. We got a couple minutes here. Here's its data high. Okay, so that's enough for me to see. We're going to wait and see what happens once ES hits the data high. Here's an order block, so if you think that we are going to move higher, you can use this as a potential entry for a continuation. Or if you want to confirm that it's a continuation, you wait till we close above these down close candles. The only thing, I just don't like that as much, because then you have 30 handles of potential drawdown before that's broken. But it also confirms the continuation. Right now, we don't know if we're going to see a continuation or a reversal. The close above confirms the continuation. All right, I need to clean things up. I got too much stuff on here. It's driving me a little crazy. Yeah, we're inside a bearish breaker right now. I marked that. That's this black line right here. On ES, I'm referring to the same data high that we have on NQ. So we hit this data high on NQ from March 12th, 8:30 a.m. The data high on ES is March 12th, 8:30 a.m. as well. We didn't hit it, actually. That sucks. That would have gave me way more confidence about going short right now if we would have hit that high. Watching for a potential retracement back up to the breaker. If it doesn't give that, then our only entry is an inversion of the first fair value gap down here. That sucks, though. Either way, we're going to be patient. We're going to wait for something that I like, or I'm waiting for something that I like. We just tagged previous day high again. Fair value gap overlapping with this breaker, low, high, lower, low. Way to go, Northern. Oh. How do we feel? We have the first fair value gap of last week filled. We hit a breaker here on a 15-minute. We're in an hourly fair value gap. Do we go short there? I am. We'll see what happens. Could be bullish. We're going to put this right there at the high of that order block. But honestly, where price I would want to see it would be towards the equal lows at 660. Yeah, we'll just put that there for now. Let's see. We still have a long ways to go to see this price reverse. I really want to see this close red, not green. Okay. The only thing I'm looking at is ES has not hit the data high, and that's grabbing my attention right now. I'm not going to let that come back and run against me. My stop's at break even. If it stops me out, it stops me out. Okay, it's going to stop me out there. ES has not hit its data high yet. So I'm going to sit back and be patient. That was a break even trade. This is what I'm watching, ES right now, this high. I'm waiting for that to see if we sweep that and then roll over. One minute till 10 a.m. No news the rest of the day, so. There's 10 a.m. So the breaker that I was looking at has stayed intact. ES still hasn't hit its data high. And there's just too many variables on it failing that just is not giving me the confidence that I want. I'm leaning towards the downside. So if we get an expansion away, maybe with this inversion right here, I'll consider participating if it wants to start moving aggressively. Looking at this fair value gap right here. It's a little too low for me to get in. That's a 25 handle drawdown. If it wants to come back up to here, I would like it to reach back up into here. Doesn't look like it's going to do that. Another stop out at break even. I had to move my stop to break even because the rules are as soon as you hit this an external low, you have to move your stop to break even in case it wants to reverse. So another stop out at break even. Yeah, I would love for it to hit the data high, but it's not. That's why I'm very careful at putting my stop at break even right now. I'm definitely interested in downside movement. How we get there is the question. Isn't that always the question? A close below this confirms continuation lower. We'd have to look at this first fair value gap as being an area of support, or okay, we did not close below it yet. This inversion is now irrelevant. And this is an inversion right here. Price action is not, it's not bad, but I mean, it's just not clean. Like I like it. Short term, short now. I'm not going to take a short right here. Right now, inside me, it's screaming, hey, look at that candle. It's going short. It's going short. And I'm doing everything I can to make sure I'm not participating in the reactionary style trading. Follow my model, follow my strategy, follow my plan. Inside bar on the 15-minute. I don't know what you mean by inside bar. Bannock. I don't know what that means exactly. But in the meantime, we're going to sit and be patient here. Again, our favorite thing to do. This is an inversion right here if you're going to take one. I like where the bodies are respecting this right now. The bodies are also respecting that inversion we had earlier. If we can't respect this and we close up towards here, I'm not. My interest is dissipating for the short right now. It's a classic, Cyrus. It's classic right now. It doesn't look classic to me. Still could fall. But I mean, just nothing in this looks classic. Classic, my friend. Classic is this. That's classic. And if you guys don't, for those that can't see it, that's classic. Breaker, Retest of the reaccumulation. That's classic. Nothing in here is classic right now that I can tell. And it's disrespecting PD arrays. We just closed above this fair value gap, and we may start running the other direction. Honestly, if we closed above this, we should start running for this high. So yeah, the 4-hour candle also has 3 hours and 45 minutes left on it. The current 4-hour candle. If you look at the previous 4-hour candle, that 4-hour candle also swept a high and mitigated a 4-hour fair value gap. So it could easily come back down into here. The 1 hour swept high. It did expand and did close above the previous candles, but also hit a hourly breaker. There's evidence. There's more, in my opinion, for us retracing, but it obviously doesn't want to do that right now. Yeah, I mean, it's reading. I'm interested not in a current fair value gap or an expanded excuse me. I'm not interested as much in the 4-hour fair value gap. I would be interested in reversals. When I see a 4-hour reverse, and I want to get long in this expansion candle, not after it's done. Because, I mean, look at this. Look at these candles right here. So we have expansion, and it sweeps this low, but it doesn't go for this low, and then it just completely reverses. So, I mean, this could easily just reverse like that. The 2 a.m. 4-hour candle swept the low on ES, creating SMT, so that may be the low of the day. That was the trigger for the 4-hour reversal. Yes. C Zarl, Carl, Carrie, Zari. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. But yes, we are purely technicals. We trade ICT concepts. That's what we use to communicate and talk about the language of the market. Yeah, probability, of course, 100%. Everything's a probability. ES is really close to the data high. It's trying. I'm waiting right now. We are waiting. Nothing open. We had 2 break-even trades. We had our 930 model played out, and we had 1 loss on an early breaker that we took. It just plowed right through my breaker idea. And that was right here. Ran right through it. Technically, it's still respecting this breaker block. I think I really want to wait for this data high to be hit. I don't know if I can trust any expansions lower. I think the only one I'm interested in at this point is if we run this fair value gap. Charlie. There we go. Welcome, Charlie. Because everything inside, so think of it this way, we have this micro range right now. We have this micro range that is basically just sitting inside of this low to high. And really, it's hard to want to find strong levels inside this range. So either we see ES make that higher high and grab the data high, which in my book it's right there. So this is ES right now. We can see it sweep that high, hit the data high from the 12th, and then see if we start getting expansion lower. If we start seeing expansion lower after we hit this level, I could probably trust that. Lalo Lopez, how do you start trading? The easy answer is you want to open up a brokerage account. TradingView, I would use, and start following along on a demo account. No real money, just a demo account. So the way that looks like, here, let me show you. If I go to my tutorial screen, is it going to pop up here? Oh, I'm going to have to switch the whole thing, aren't I? What if I go to big monitors? Did you do that? No. What if I do that? Nope. All of it's not working the way I want. Let me remove the execution screen here. Down here at the bottom, you have a trading panel, and it's right out of view, but on the left-hand side, you'll see what's called a paper account. And you'll select this paper account, and then you can take trades and follow along. So if I wanted to go short right here, you could create an order. And I could go short if I wanted to on a paper account. So that would put me in a short. And then you can follow along on everything that or apparently I hit long. And you can follow along and go through some courses. And just start learning the language of the market. That's the big thing. Don't do anything. Don't put any money on the table. Just learn the language of the market. And as you do that, over time, you'll start understanding things. And then you can apply those concepts to your own trading. Ask questions as you go, because there's going to be it's a long journey. So understanding and having the right mindset to start trading is going to be very important. This is not I'm not planning on making money in 6 months. This is a year, 2-year commitment to start seeing profitability. People have been trading for years. Jaehong, good morning, sir. How are you? All right, so we are on ES right now. Let's get out of that. Let's go back to NQ. Are you trying to trade within the channel and pick either the top or bottom? No. You don't want to trade inside this channel currently because it's all choppy. You want to use PD arrays. PD arrays are things that show up in price action, things that show up in the charts that tell you if price wants to go higher or lower. So for example, this black line is a PD array. It's called a breaker. When price made a high right here, it came back down a little bit and then made a high. And then we came and went below that down close candle. And then we come back up to that level right here. And you can see how we've been respecting this area right here. That's a PD array. It potentially tells us that price wants to go lower. But if you have other PD arrays that are higher, it could make that invalid. So you gotta look at several different PD arrays to determine where it wants to go. Bro, I just got to know you recently, and I must say that for free streaming, you're giving so much knowledge with tons of patience compared to others. God bless. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, Adam. I will say I've taken 2 trades, but they've been 3 trades, but they've been break even, and I have 1 small loss. They just didn't play out, and so the trades were cut because I moved my stop to break even. And ultimately, I'm glad. We took one of those right here. This is the one that I probably am a little disappointed in. I moved my stop to break even. When I went short, I moved it right somewhere around here. It stopped me out, and then it started to run this direction. St. Christy, what's the name of that indicator you use for the ticker on the top right corner? Yes. That indicator is, which one is it? Watermark. I think, no, that's not that one, is it? Let me double click it. Yeah, it is. It's the watermark by 2 degrees. Watermark by 2 degrees right there. You bet. BB, I took SMT between ES and NQ, 959 short. See, I took that short, moved my stop to break even, and got stopped out. That's the only thing I'm a little disappointed on, is was I a little premature in moving my stop to break even? The answer would have been yes. Yes, I was premature on that. All right, we have to expand lower from here. It's looking like expansion. Looks like we want to go. So what are we going to use? Well, first off, let's see how it reacts with this sell side that we just ran right here. Okay. Do we now just sweep that low and come back up into this? Or do we continue? We have a first fair value gap. We have a swing low here, equal lows down here. I'm interested in playing this inversion from the first fair value gap, but I'm not interested in all of these down close candles and taking that. I really would like to see a green candle here and then a close. That's personally what I would like to see, and we may not get it. Oh, I'm trading micros. I trade micros. Right now I'm trading two. I'll be trading 2 micros, 2 or 3. Sometimes 5. This looks like it's going to run without us, guys. All right, I'm going to take a short right here, see if it wants to give it to us to the downside or if it's going to push higher. It closed inside my range. And it looks like it's going to... That's what I was wanting it to run for, is where my low's at, 19,684. And I'm going to get stopped out. Son of a gun. My stop's a 20 handle stop loss, and look at that. It closed inside that fair value gap, so technically this trade is still valid. I'm gonna see how this candle closes. If it respects this first fair value gap again, I may re-enter. I'm looking at this fair value gap right here. Okay, so it disrespected it. I'm going to pass. I'm looking at the small fair value gap with this breaker underneath this wick. Saint Christy, I don't know what CRT is. I think there's a guy on Twitter that talks about it all the time, but I don't trade that. I mean, I don't know the acronym for it. I'm pretty sure I know what it means. I just don't know the acronym. All right, so if we close below these 3 down up close candles and we're relatively close, I'll consider a re-entry for continuation lower. Candle range theory. Yeah, I don't do anything with candle range theory. I probably do the same concepts and we talk about it, just I don't talk about it the way that one guy talks about it. If you want to give a summary of it, drop it in the chat, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Yeah, I thought it was candle range theory. I just couldn't remember it because I don't spend time talking about it or thinking about it. I'm not liking the delivery of everything here, folks. I'm not getting the entries that I want based on how it's delivering. I was hoping that it would close just below this before it just runs that low. So wasn't able to catch that. I assumed it was something like that, but the guy on YouTube is just or not on YouTube, but on X, just tries to be very mysterious and all about selling his courses, and I hate that. So I just kind of discount it and walk away. To the moon. We have these equal lows. I don't think so quite yet there, Chris. I think we need to hit the data low. The data low is also these equal lows that I have marked out right here. Yeah, don't worry. I was never going to buy his stuff. I don't like when people do that. Keep you guessing and like, oh, I'll give you everything inside the course. I don't do EMAs. I don't do any. It's all strict on price action, how price plays out. I still do like this level. I want to see how it reacts here. I could probably get 10 handle scalps if I wanted. Really wasn't trying to do that. It's not really what I want to do. I think that's all mitigated there. I'm willing, let's expand this a little bit. I'm willing to see if this wants to come back down and hit. I'll keep this at 10 handles for right now. All right, so there's a 10 handle scalp based on this breaker right here and this down close candle or this wick mitigating everything above that and it coming into this fair value gap. Just a small 10 handle scalp. Unfortunately, Chris, I do get that. I will tell you that I am a complete opposite of that man, though. I don't talk the way he talks at all. Not one bit. He's funny. He's definitely funny, but I can't talk that way. I'm not vulgar at all. No language. Try to keep my language and words honoring to those around me. It also helps that I don't have any hair on the top of my head. I tell you that much. That also helps. All right, so we got one scalp out of that. Nothing looks really good, guys. I mean, not the only one that looked good at the beginning that we ended up getting stopped out at break even for was right here for a breaker. But man, we're staying inside this range. We did make a lower low. I'll give it that. We do have a break, but this is minor. This is a minor sell side. This is a minor sell side. I'm not thinking, oh, from this level, we're going to go to the moon. No. I want to see the new week opening gap tagged. I want to see the equal lows and the data low tagged. We got equilibrium of the previous week's range is sitting right here. We have Friday's equilibrium sitting way down here. There's so much more to the downside than upside that, hey, if it wants to come back up here and give me some structure, I'll look at taking that. But until then, I can't. And even me taking a short right here, I'm only willing to do a 10-point scalp, 20-point scalp, because look at all the space we have above it. There's a lot more that it could reach for. It could reach for this mitigation block. It may want to default to ES this morning and allow ES to run for its high, which it hasn't hit its data high yet. So I still think we may be waiting for this data high to be ran, and then we get the sell-off. But I would say I'm bearish. I'm looking for downside moves. I mean, you look at this 15-minute chart, and that just, I mean, it looks like a box. To me, this looks heavy. I guess let's look at the 30-minute. Let's see what we got on the 30-minute. If we got any potential reversals. All right, so 15 minutes, this candle will close. If we get a reversal here, if we get this 30-minute candle to close up in this range after it swept this minor sell side, you could look for a 3-minute fair value gap to go long in. But until then, we're waiting for 15 minutes. On the hourly, it's a wick fest. You got 15 minutes for this hourly candle to close inside of this range, and if it does that, you would basically look for the next candle to start expanding higher and give you a 5-minute fair value gap to go long in. But even still, I'm not interested in going long. I'm just not. I'm not. So I'm grateful that we are basically keeping our losses to very minimal. I mean, we're down $20, $30. Very small. My daily typical target is $200. That's what I would prefer to walk away with. ES looks cleaner. Yeah, it does look cleaner. You got your 15-minute order block there. We came and retagged it. Now we would need to see this 15-minute candle expand lower. But we still got that data high. All right, so I have a piece of paper that I sit in front of me every day. I write all my thoughts down to help me be disciplined, and my final thought, I think, of the morning, or the overall thought of the morning, is that my success in my trading, my success is in the trading of my plan. It's in being patient. A loss or losses, if my plan was followed, does not define my success or failure. Because success is the following of your plan. Success has to be the following of your strategy. And if you don't have one, then you're not in a position to start trading. That's just the truth. Because if you don't have a strategy, you're a gambler in the market. And we want to increase our odds, not exasperate our failing odds by just gambling away. So your success is in your ability to follow your plan and be patient with your strategy. And failure is not defined by losses, as long as you're following your plan. And I would say so far we took, I'm not really disappointed with any of the trades that I took. This one sucks a little bit. A retracement and then a reaching towards the sell side liquidity. That stung a little bit. To me, the 2-minute fair value gap is the silver bullet. My target is the 4-hour open. We missed the silver bullet. Ricardo? If you're trading ICT silver bullet, it's between 10 and, I guess there's 10 minutes left. I apologize. I am incorrect. There is 10 minutes left. And you are looking at the 2-minute fair value gap. Which 2-minute? The one that we just came in or the one above it? We have a 2-minute inversion right here, overlapping with a 1-minute inversion. Sell side. I'd be willing to take this 1-minute inversion to the downside if it gives it to us. If you guys use Apex, or if you don't use Apex, consider using Apex. The code DTJ is will give you 71% off right now. That code will give you the best discounts that they're offering. So if they do 70, 50, 80, 90% DTJ, that code will give you the updated discount. You can find the link in the description, or you can just take that code and drop it in during your checkout. But on a 50K account, it's about $40 right now. Perfect 20 EMA entry on the 5-minute fair value gap. Way to go, BB. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work, my friend. I'm not saying it at all. If it works for you, I'm happy. I've just gotten comfortable with being comfortable with my model and not, envying or trying to grab other people's. Now, I'll take other people's stuff and I'll test it out and back test it and put together my strategy. But I don't diss anybody's. I don't diss and I won't put down anybody's strategy at all, because unless it's not founded on something. Because I know there's thousands of different ways to make money in the market. I've just seen it. That's right, JR. And because they're different concepts, I can't I can't pull those two together. If somebody's trading ICT concepts in general, I'll take what they're looking at, their strategy, what they're looking at. For example, the 1 hour reversal that I've talked about over and over again was a collection of two different traders that I started seeing some patterns in. And I'm like, I like this. Now I've only been able to, this is recent, this is in the last 2 weeks. I've only been able to take it once, and I'm waiting for my next opportunity. The old me would go short right now, because that's not who I am anymore. Let's see if we get this close. All right, I'm going to go short there. I'm looking for the equal lows. 660 is my target. And actually, I could sell only one. I think I might. Dang it, I have to move my stop to break even. Because on the minis, it swept the low. And then let's see if it can give us the target down here. And then I'm going to hold one runner to see if it wants to run a way lower here at 19,520. Why am I stop at break even? Look right here. We swept this low. We swept that low. It could reverse right here, so that's what I have to protect my position from. And I've gotten stopped out many times. It sucks, but it's worth that protection. I'm going to take one contract off. And just take that 15-point win and hold and see if it See if this can run lower here. We're going to take that off at 19,660. That's the equal lows. That's the data low that I really wanted. All right, rest of it was stopped out at break even. Couldn't even get to the data low. Well, folks, I think that's going to be it for today. You can obviously see that it's not wanting to run. It's not wanting to expand. It's just not clean conditions. So we're going to be done for today. I'm going to close my accounts, walk away from the screen. Pretty much a break-even day for me. So we will be back at it tomorrow. I probably will be trading the PM session tomorrow if you want to hang out with us. So that looks like it's going to expand and hit those equal lows right there. Let's see if he can give it to me right now. Just on 1 micro. That's where I want it to hit that yellow line. Can't even do that. Yeah, we're not going to mess around with that. How do I PM? You can send me a message over on X. Send me a message on X, and I'll reach out there. All right, my friends, we're gonna call it a day. God bless. Stay safe. We'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.